The voice of rugby league joins us right now, Rabsy Ray Warren. G'day, Ray. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Mate, that's great. Before we get into your book, mate, we'll talk about that in just a few moments. Darius Boyd, he's taken himself away from everything, saying that he's got issues, he's got depression problems. He's getting himself help for it. Earlier in the week, there was claims about him trashing a hotel room or at a vineyard in the Hunter Valley there in the winery there. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I think it's been coming. When you think about some of the, what shall I call them, the verbal altercations or the lack of verbal altercations, I suppose, with Darius and the media, he's obviously a profound person, is the best way to put it. He's very deep, and sometimes you'll find underlying that exterior there is a troubled person, and he's got some issues, and I don't know exactly what they are, whether they're domestic, whether they're psychiatric, I've got no idea. All I can do is wish him well. I think he's a worthwhile person, and I'm sure he's worth working on. So I just hope it comes through.
Manly, who are doing amazing things on the football field, there just seem to be some cracks appearing. Mind you, a lot of it's driven by the media, and there's a lot of turmoil amongst the players. What's the mail you've got?
I haven't got any mail, to tell you the truth. I mean, Glenn Stewart, Brett Stewart, Steve Maddai, Anthony Watmo are all friends of mine, but I don't pry into that sort of stuff. What's happened here is Manly are now paying the penalty, and so is Brett Stewart, not Brett Stewart, but Glenn Stewart. They're paying the penalty in part for what they have done, and what they did was they back-ended contracts. And so Manly now find themselves in a situation where they couldn't offer Glenn a contract of what they owed him at the back end of his contract. So Glenn's had to basically pack up house and go. And that, of course, has then reverberated, and it's had a domino effect where his brother isn't happy, Anthony's not happy. I don't think Manly could have put a contract in front of Glenn without insulting Glenn. That's what I think might be the bottom line. I think they might have been feeling, we can't go anywhere near the amount of money we owe Glenn, and they will have to pay it eventually, somehow or other. But I think what they were trying to do was to let him get as much as he could from another club, and then they'll have to top it up. But it's a bit like me saying to you, look, I'll give you $50 to call the football up there. And you say, well, hang on a moment, I was getting $150 last week. So I don't want to get too deeply involved in it, except to say it's not coming over on the field. They're the favourites for the competition, and if you ask me now, I'd say they'll win the competition.
Last night, the Footy Show paid you an amazing tribute to what you've done to the game, and not just rugby league, but calling in general. I mean, a lot of people don't realise, that you've called not just rugby league, but horse racing and Olympics and Commonwealth Games and everything else, and a very fitting tribute to what they did. And congratulations to the people that put that little tribute together. And it just shows you that the people that you work with all said the same thing as well. That that you are the voice of rugby league, and that you will always be remembered as the voice of rugby league.
Yeah, well, what can I say? It's been the most emotional week for me with the launch of the book, and then Carl Stefanovic wanting to do an in-depth story on me, and the Footy Show embracing me, and then I had the Order of Australia only just a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, I'm getting older by the day, and I'm getting more emotional by the day, but last night's tribute was just out of this world. And then I pick up the Telegraph this morning, and Paul Crawley has done an amazing 2-page story on me, and I just feel so humble about the whole bloody thing, because, look, I've told you, I think I've told you before, I started off as a 6 or 7-year-old kid rolling marbles down a slope and calling them as horses. So, thankfully, my marbles, they haven't come loose yet, but if somebody asks me privately to talk to them about their future, I just simply say, look, if you've got the passion, you've got the energy, you've got the desire, and you've got the persistence, given a little window of opportunity, you can dream. You can dream of all of this becoming a reality, and that's all I am. I'm a little kid that had a dream, and it came true.
Mate, thank you very much for your time today. We love talking to you on Friday afternoon.
All right, okay, my pleasure, and have a nice weekend.
You too, the voice of rugby league there, Rabsy Ray Warren.